Okay, folks. I just wanted to talk about the history of the Roman Catholic Church and how it corrupted Christianity. Uh, I mean, especially since today I was just at the travel center and I met some folks who said they were traditional Roman Catholic, and I gave my YouTube channel to them, and they seemed like good people and all that, but they actually told me they left their church because they felt that their priest was corrupt. There's something wrong with them, and they're actually not going to a church right now, but they're still practicing. But they're still traditional Roman Catholic. They're just doing it at home. And I even asked them if I could worship with them because I was like, I'm willing to do what you're willing to do, as long as it's not a sin. You know, I told them I even seen a book along the road the other day, and I almost took it home, but then I didn't have my bag on me, so I left it. But it was some kind of Catholic book, and it talked about feed the hungry, uh, clothe the clothe the homeless, you know, visit the poor, or heal the sick, and all that. And I agree with all that stuff. So I'm like, and it seemed like we agree with most stuff, except they thought that the Sabbath was today, the first day of the week. I told them it's actually yesterday, but it says that's the seventh day of the week, as it says in Exodus 20 verse 8. But yeah. Anyways, there's the early Christians, like in the New Testament, the apostles, and they were all, like Hebrews. Most of them they're all Hebrews or Hebrew descent, and they observed Torah, the Torah, or the first five books of the Bible. They observed like those commandments, but like Yeshua, or the J man, who they call capital Jesus, who like he, or I call him Yeshua or Yehoshua. That's his Hebrew and Aramaic names, but he yeah, I mean he observed the Torah as well, and so did the early Christians, like the Apostle Paul or the Apostle Shaul and the disciples of Yeshua. But anyway, the Roman Catholic Church came along at some point, and they corrupted Christianity. I mean, they took Christianity and mixed it with the pagan, the pagan rituals, the pagan customs that were going on. I mean, that were like the Roman, like all the Roman customs and beliefs were the same as they were all pagan. They were pagan, rituals and customs, and they just mixed Christianity with that, so they corrupted it, and through the Middle Ages, and then through the Middle Ages up to today, to modern Roman Catholics, it's all began with like the Constantine, it started with the Constantine, the one of the emperors of Rome. He decided to become a Christian and and corrupt Christianity by mixing it with Roman or pagan rituals and beliefs. That's hence why they Christmas and Easter, these originally pagan holidays, now they consider them Christian holidays, and all these Christians consider them holy days, and when they're really not, because they were just pagan holidays, but they you know they didn't want to make a stand. They didn't want to make a stand, and so they just conformed to the pagans and said, "Oh, let's make a deal. Let's kind of thing. Let's make a deal. We'll just adopt your customs, but we'll call it Christianity, and we'll call ourselves Christians." You know, that's exactly what happened. Well, that's the history of it, folks. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Shalom, Kodoshim and other folks.